Are we up?
We are now live. Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions Daily, 4 p.m. UK time. I'm going to butcher your name again, but I'm going to call you Miro this week.
Excellent. Thank you for that. That's great.
You know, like your mum gave you a great name from birth, and I ruined it over the last few weeks being on the show, right?
Sorry, here. Let me change my lighting here because I had this light above my head, looked like a halo. I know that's really what it's all about, but let's try to be a little more realistic.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So we were just talking about off call. Like, I'm really fucking happy today. Like, really happy.
Love it.
I don't know why it is, considering like yesterday I went out for the first time in 42 days or 41 days or whatever it was to go to the shops, and I had a guy brush past me in the supermarket and I absolutely lost it with him. He didn't want to look at me down the fruit aisle. I tell you, I looked quite weird because I had a cap on and I had like a mask around my face and I had like an army fatigue jacket. So yeah, that wasn't one of my shining moments, but you know, when people would like brush into you, it's like unbelievable. Right. So here he is. He's here now. Here's Joseph. Well, there's a picture of him on the wall. Or is that his family?
No,
here he is. Don't worry, Joe. You take your time. We're just live at the moment. Yeah, people are just watching you, just getting plugged in.
Yeah, well, people that do my coaching are used to
it. Right. Okay. So why don't we do this? You go first. Have a little bit of background on you, and then what I'll do is I'll share these to the groups, and then we can start to kickstart the show. So, do you want to just do Miro? Do you want to just do a little bit of background on yourself?
Sure. My name is Miro Posavec. I got a long and storied business career. I've done a lot of different things. I've been selling online sporadically for about the last 10 years. 6 years ago, I got into Amazon. A couple of years ago, I set a goal for myself to match my off Amazon sales to my Amazon sales because I don't trust Amazon. And it was funny because we talked about this last time. I had a couple of products taken off and put back on. So I want to be on an environment that I can at least control some of the outcome, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've been doing fairly well. I started my Shopify at 0 in January of last year. Now I'm at mid 6 figures, which is great. And we're growing week to week, and it's been great. But Joe and I talked about offline, and Danny and I talked too about not putting all your eggs in the pay-per-click basket, but doing some SEO planning and stuff. So, if Joe hadn't shown up, we would have used his notes and pretended that it was our work. So that's it. Let's get Joe going.
Yeah. And Joe, let's get you going. A little bit of background, then we get into things. And I know you never look happy. You look like me. We always look fucking miserable, don't we? Right, the pair of us. Are you happy today? Because Miro, me and him were talking off call of how happy we are today.
Hell yeah, son! I just woke up. That's part of it, but.
Yeah.
When I wake up, if I can breathe and the sun came up, it's going to be a great day.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful here.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So, cool. A little bit of background then, Joe, and then we'll get down to some science. Yeah.
All right. I'm Joe Reichsfeld. I own E-commerce Optimizer. I've been in the e-commerce space for 20 years. Been on Amazon since 2002. I help sellers dominate their niches and grow their business. We specialize in expanding off of Amazon and not putting your eggs in one basket, be it Amazon or eBay or whoever's. We do a lot with Shopify. We do a lot with content and growing sustainable long-term businesses.
Yeah, excellent. So this is week number 4. I didn't realize of how long we'll be running these Shopify. We call them Shopify, but they're off Amazon. A lot of people use Shopify as their portal in terms of selling on. Obviously, you can use WooCommerce, you can do Magento and all, but we're calling it Shopify for a better word because that's the most popular platform for Amazon sellers coming off of Amazon, right? But we're now in week 4 and there's just so much shit that we can cover. I think this just could keep running and running because the dynamics are so different, aren't they, when they're selling off of Amazon? So, Joe, we're going to set the scene. We want to get in. I want to get onto on-page SEO because we keep moving it. Like we've got this big, long list because you just you send me this big, long fucking War and Peace, didn't you, every week? Yeah. And we only get part of the way through it and we keep getting bumped down, right? I want to cover the on-page SEO stuff. Yeah, I'm really keen to do that today. But first, do you want to just go over some stats and figures that you got for me that you posted into the group? Let's start with that, and then we start to unpick that first.
Okay, so a big thing on the internet, and you gotta when you're looking at optimizing your stuff, be it on Amazon or off Amazon or wherever, you have to think about your consumer, and people. And a great way to do that is to think about yourself. Do you like getting ads? I don't. I can't stand that shit. I have ad blocker on everything that I own, because I want to eliminate that stuff. I don't care what people are selling. I don't like the pop-ups. In 2019, 26% of internet users are blocking advertising on their devices. Ad targeting is getting increasingly more complex. You have Apple and Firefox that are developing technology to make it even harder to get your ads shown and tracking and things like that. 70% of people would rather get their information about a company from an article or an interesting post or a friend, or video. And it comes down to knowing your audience. If you don't know your audience, no matter where you are, you're not going to get it right. Anybody can tell you they optimized your listing, your web page, whatever. But the truth is if the message is not on target for your specific audience, you're going to optimize crap. Even though it might follow the specs of what the platform is looking for optimization. And different groups, your different audiences want their information in different ways. For example, millennials prefer video, but people our age, are more open to receiving emails from a company. But on the vice versa, people our age don't necessarily like videos and don't watch as much videos. 32% of consumers check out a brand's social media presence before checking out their website. So it's a total package. It's not just your website. It's not just your social media, and it's certainly not just a marketplace.
It's all part of the funnel, isn't it? It's like peaking at the interest and then getting further and further till searcher's intent. So
they call it the web for a reason.
Because it's to join. Obviously, because everything's interlinked. But it's the 7 to 9 touch points that people do on multiple devices as well.
It sure is.
So there's touch points. So this have clarity here. You've got touch points to a sale, but that doesn't always equate to falling in at the top of the funnel and coming down, because that could be 20 steps. It could be a sponsored story. It could be some guest posts. It can be contextual ad targeting with a wraparound of content as well, kind of. And it really depends on how sophisticated the person is, So.
You have to be doing a little bit of everything. I mean, PPC, it has its place, and you need to do it. In a lot of cases, you need to do it depending on where you
I always say, I've got an agency, but at the end of the day, PPC only works when it works. When it don't, you don't use it. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can cut between it. But I have an agency, and I'm not going to sit here and say PPC will work for anything. If you've got a shit product, your conversion rate's going to be poor. So you wouldn't use PPC. You fix the product, right? I've always said, if you're in a super competitive niche, you might not be able to meet your target ACOS. Then you do giveaways, or you do something else. You do external traffic, And this is why I always
it's all.
Yeah. So what you do is that I always say you go wide, right? And then you niche down, because you go wide to find which channels work. And when you find the channels, you double down and you discard the rest.
Well, I'm gonna jump in here, guys, just to give it a little different perspective. I got a good friend of mine, and they got divorced recently, and they're back in the dating world, right? And they're doing the Match.com and the other stuff. And it's interesting because I hadn't thought of it, because it's really strategic. So they'll meet someone on Match, then they'll research the hell out of that person on social media, right? So they're doing almost a vetting process for their future dates. And I think it's very similar, because what happens with me is I'm looking at my own sales numbers on my website, and I'll find is someone will buy after the 3rd or 4th visit after a couple of days. So they're introduced to my product through, pay-per-click or whatever else. Then they're going on different channels and they're vetting me the same way they did, running a background check on someone, saying, hey, do I go on this person, or am I going to be duct taped in a garbage bag in the back of their car, right? And I think it's very much a similar process.
Do they do that?
That is a great analogy. I normally
they do everything in Florida, man.
Florida can be there. Yeah, there's some dark sides of Florida, but yeah, what you talked about is what we say is gaffer tape, and the white van comes around and collects you. Then you know you're in trouble. Anyway, should we take it away from violence and back onto e-commerce? Right, Joe.
Yeah. So attribution, some systems and a lot of people, they just look at the final click, and the final click is just a tiny portion of the story. You need to be everywhere. When you need to figure out who your audience is and find out where they go. Where do they congregate? Do they go to specific forums? Do they, are they gift giving grandmas and they use Bing? Who are they and what do they do? And then get your content out there, or references to your site, references to your product. Sometimes it's just getting your testimonials out there. It's just you have to do everything you can do and all the different things and be in different places. Quora, answering questions on Quora, having a presence on Reddit, just, not trying to push yourself, but just so the people that use Reddit don't use social media. Yeah. So it's a whole nother part of your audience, and if you ignore it, then it's just lost sales. So what we try to do is we try to bring it all back to, a website or a set of landing pages. And then from there, you have your choice to direct them to where they buy or where they get more content. And that's where what we do is in our marketing funnels is at the bottom. We'll always present multiple payment options so people can pay where they're most comfortable. Amazon Prime members are going to pay on Amazon Prime. They're not going to go to your website. So if you don't offer that, you're missing out on that crowd. But then if you don't offer a website, you're missing out on the crowd I'm in, which doesn't buy on Amazon. So you got to do a little bit of everything.
Cool. Let me say some hellos and then we'll get through some more content. So hello to Ruth. Ivan's joined us. Simon. Morning, Tiff. Jason's back again. Stuart's here as well. Herb's here and Tony are answering those questions. In a moment, Abu is here. Annalise Yelchin is here. Lisa, here's Jimmy. Ramez, Alexandra, Andrew, and Henrietta. Questeam says hello. Tiff says good morning, gentlemen. Streaming into my group as they want to learn more about Shopify. You're more than welcome. Stuart says hello, everyone. Herb, we'll come to your question in a moment. Actually, let's quickly answer this now, and then we'll do Tony's as well. Good morning. I'm looking to add Shopify site in addition to my Amazon, which means I'm shopping for 3PLs. Any advice?
If you're doing a decent amount of volume, Rakuten Logistics has built out a fulfillment center to be able to do one-day standard shipping throughout the U.S. They have some startup costs and software fee. They'll waive some of it, but their low pick fee makes up for their other fees. And that's where volume comes into place. If you're doing at least 1,000 units a month, it makes the monthly fee a wash because the pick fees are $1.50 to $2 an item.
Yeah, so it's a lot cheaper, but isn't it $4,000 set up? $4,000?
No, it's $1,250 for the software and $500 to get on, and then $250 a month monthly fee. They'll waive the $500 if you ask them, and sometimes they'll work with you on the software fee.
Yeah. Okay.
I use a company called Oxspring Paul. They're based in Utah. I've been pretty happy with them. This is my third warehouse in 6 years. So far, I'm pretty happy with the fact that they're flexible with us. We had a problem where some of our staff had put the wrong labels on something. They had to go back in our stock, and they had to change barcodes. Also, my inventory ages out, so I just had them go in there and do like a Lenin-style purge of all my stock. So I like the fact that these guys are pretty flexible with getting stuff, and they're not killing me. My previous warehouse charged me like $70 an hour to have someone go do that kind of stuff. These guys are charging me like $22 an hour to do that. So it's super fair. I think it depends on really what you need, and there isn't like, if you start comparing different warehouses, you're going to find everyone bills completely differently.
Yeah, they are all different. Scoopon is really good on the East Coast.
Yeah, so it's really a pain. Like I like the Utah-based guys because I can take orders till 8 o'clock at night Eastern time, right? Yeah. So it's pros and cons to all of it. You really just gonna I mean, you have to analyze and say, what do we do a lot of? My previous warehouse had a lower pick fee, but they bill me for every stupid thing, right? So my pick fees were low, but I was getting killed like $1,000 a week on just stupid crap. Oh, they charge us stuff coming in. They charge here.
There's no such thing as a free lunch. So basically, they lowball you in,
yes.
and then you get hit on the back end. Did you?
Yeah. So I mean, I've heard about one of my good friends is trying to set up some shipping right now, and she's talked like 8 guys, and only 3 of them have called her back. And you just find one that thinks to be the best match for you. My mistake was the last warehouse had a lot of inventory, so changing is really hard. So I'm gonna say try them out with a small quantity first. But God help you, if you're trying to change over and you want one warehouse to back up 80,000 items and send to another warehouse, you're gonna get killed.
Yeah, there's a list on my website of 40 or 50 different 3PLs,
right,
along with the different benefits.
Well, give me a URL, Joe, so they know where to find them. Yeah, pop that in there. I'm just going to say some more hellos. So Ramirez will say hello, Tim, Ray. Kat has just joined the call. Hey, Kat, I hope you're well. Oxy is here. I still owe you a phone call. Then questions and hellos here. Ruth says, good morning, gents. Owen says, hi. Ray says, how do you spell the company name, Joe? From the comment earlier on that you were talking about.
Rakuten, Rakuten.
Cool. It may be because the way that we speak is sometimes from overseas people, the translation from English is not always clear. So Abu's posted that link. Thank you, mate, for doing that. Ramez says, any experience with Deliver? I heard a lot of people have been using them as 3PL. I don't know, but I did know that I would say just check their reviews. And if a lot of people are using them, if they've got capacity, great. If they haven't, that can be difficult as well.
They integrate very well with Walmart, from what I understand.
Yeah. Miro, can you please repeat the warehouse name again? Di says.
It's Ox Spring Paul. OXSPRING PAUL, and they have a website.
Yes, on the Abu's posted a link. I've shared it on the screen for the benefit of the podcast. Obviously, the spelling's there. Then, us Aussies have weird accents, says Ray. Okay. Kata says, Joe sharing his Rolodex, priceless. Michael's got a question here. Oh, so 3PL shippers. Shipmonk was great for us. We're using Deliverr mostly for Walmart now. They're not been bad so far. So for your information, so that's good. Cy says, hi guys, back again, day 43. Sounds like we're in a prison, isn't it? Day 43 on lockdown. What else have we got here? We've covered those.
Danny, the link is in the Facebook chat.
Okay, I'll pop that up on the screen in a moment. Did you put it in the private chat or the main chat?
The one that we were in this morning.
Oh, I see. Yeah, let me just post that over to the guys now, and then I'll flash that up on the screen, and then they can go there for the resources. All right, and then we'll get back into some of the content. Let's have a look. Right, guys, have a look on the screen. I've just pasted that up. ecommerce-optimizer.com/FBA-prep-ship-companies. I'm saying that for the replay on the podcast so people know what it is. Right, let's get back into the process of what we were reviewing earlier on. So we've covered a lot of the percentages. Let's talk about per dollar content marketing produces 3 times more leads. Explain that, please.
Content marketing appeals to people at various stages of the buyer journey. So it appeals to people that are in the awareness stage that really don't necessarily know that they need your product yet, but they're just learning about it. It appeals to people, that are ready to buy, and people in the middle of the flow. So exponentially, your audience, mushrooms, basically. Amazon is the cash register, basically, of America. People go there to make the purchase. They don't go there to compare, products or to ask their friend about a product. That's what social media is for. So having content on your website really, really pays off. One thing that we suggest to people to do, and that works really well, is to take your top 9 competitors on Amazon and do a comparison article comparing all of you. And then you use affiliate links for all your competitors, and you use your own link for your own product. So if you
a little trick there, what people do is they'll create one of those sites with the affiliate links. They'll put the very best products in there in the right order. Once they've ranked the site, then they take the number 1 out and put their own link and change the review slightly on the page. So it drives all the traffic. So that once the traffic's been driven to the site and it's got consistent traffic, they swap out the number 1 position with their own product.
We don't even swap out the number. We start with our product right in there.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
But then you can take all those brand names if you want. You can take all those brand names and the word review and the word comparison and run PPC on it. Yeah. If you get the sale, great. If you don't get the sale, you get sales information about your competitors from the affiliate links. Yeah. I know somebody that does this to test what their next upgrade is going to be, to see what people are buying. To see what's selling the best. It's a great way of finding information out about your audience. But content, because of that, for that reason. So right there, you've got content driving more traffic for you than you would normally get with just your name. And if people are interested in your competitors, it's kind of natural that they would be interested in you as well. They just don't know who you are yet. And that's a great way to get your name out there and to get people coming to, aware of who you are. We use that a lot. Amazon just decimated the affiliate system, but there's still, you have Zazzle, Society 6. There's still other programs that pay really good affiliate commissions. You can find your products you can find other products on those. ShareASale has a lot of e-commerce companies that sell products on Amazon. So you can still get some of those same Amazon products on your pages with affiliate links. They might not be an Amazon affiliate link, but you can still get them on there where you can get the sale or get sales information, which you can't beat information. Information's key.
So just to bring Miro here a bit, what have you been working on last week or so in terms of content generation work?
Well, it's interesting because Joe and I had a bit of a conversation offline a couple of days ago. On Friday, I had a meeting with my team, and one of my Google guys said, "Hey, Miro, do you realize that, your SEO activity brings in more money than your pay-per-click activity does?" And that kind of took me back. Step up, like, hold on a second. I'm dropping big money on Google pay-per-click, and it's not even outperforming my SEO stuff. And my SEO stuff's had a budget of like $500 a month, right? And I'm thinking, gee, maybe it's time to bring that budget up a little bit. And like I said, it's something I hadn't really, you're doing your day-to-day stuff, and you got to have a team in place to look at and say, look, I noticed something that's important, right? Now I'm in the middle of launching a whole other brand, and I'm thinking, instead of, setting aside a huge pay-per-click budget, I'm going to take a good portion of that budget. I'm going to put onto SEO creation of making sure I have content, articles, all this other stuff. So you've got to sit there and say, okay, look, I'm spending X on advertising. How about if I, add to that or divert some of that to SEO and make sure we have real valuable information? Like, my whole premise is my business transformed when I went from trying to educate people, and our whole thing is, we're going to solve your problem for you, right? And people, when they're looking for, like we used to before, targeting your audience, all that stuff is, hey, you know what? Someone's got a problem or they have a question. I'm going to answer that question for them. And that philosophy and mindset fits in perfectly with the whole SEO thing, saying, look, we want to sit there, we want to solve problems for people and then become a trusted resource. Because we're in supplements, trust is a big fact of the buying decision. We improved our graphics and our website professionalism, and our conversion went from 0.05 to 3%, just changing the graphics because we created more trust. So I think that's something too you got to look at is, you can affect your conversion rate that much. If those of you that are new in the business, those conversion numbers are huge.
Yeah, no, that is, especially on a commerce site. I want to come back to that whole thing again about trust. Design is trust. Space in design is trust as well. And I can't keep going on about. I know people probably hate me for it. This affiliate marketing long page stuff. It works for affiliate marketers and it works for other advertisers and infopreneurs and stuff like that. But you would never buy an Apple Mac off a website looking like that. True?
Yes, absolutely.
So it comes down to trust. Know your vertical, know your audience, and design your site accordingly to that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just throw one more thing here.
Go on.
Joe mentioned people don't like advertising and stuff. The exception to that is we tested our site with one of those exit spinny wheel of fortune thingies, right? And I hated that. I thought it was tacky and ugly.
That works though.
That worked so well. I was not ready. We gathered more emails in our first week than we had in the previous year and a half on our site. It sounds goofy. They spin the wheel and they get discount like 5 to 20%. And I'm telling you, people love that. And it sounds goofy and it's yucky. And that boils down to test stuff. Don't let your preconceptions and your ideas guide you. Like I thought it was tacky and stupid, and you know what? It works.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about like an exit pop-up.
Yes.
Yeah. So as they wave over the browser at the button at the top, this pop-up comes.
And you're gamifying it, and people love that stuff.
Yeah. Adam Smith here says, they ask you answered by Marcus Sheridan is the Bible for inbound SEO. Joe put me onto that, and it's become the foundation of our inbound content marketing strategy.
If you're not familiar with Marcus Sheridan, he is a pool guy from Virginia. He's got a really interesting story about basically him and his partners almost going bankrupt during the housing crash. And they completely turned that around through a process of answering questions and building their website. And it's something that I recommend to almost all my clients that they read, because it's a picture of an average person and becoming, key and making their website a key part, a key informational resource for the entire world on their subject, which for them was installing pools.
Yeah.
And they pushed their traffic up to 600,000 visits within their first year.
Yeah.
That's a really good book for any smaller seller, that especially if you don't have the market budget to spend a ton of money. That's a great way of doing things. And it's all about content and answering questions that are even awkward, talking about, fees and talking about the kind of customer that is not good for you. Who talks about that on their website? Who is not good for their product? But it answers questions, and you're doing a service to your potential buyers by doing that.
Yeah.
You end up with happier buyers too, because you're eliminating ones that are potentially going to be a mess.
Yeah, no, you got to have a complete transparency of the target audience that you want, and not scare people off. But if they visit your website, it might be, regardless of what it is, it could be something like, this website is not for newbies. You're more than welcome to join, but this content may be a little bit too far ahead of where you are at the moment. May we suggest X, Y, and Z? Straight away, you build trust.
Yep.
Because what you're doing is you're providing the solution. You're not just turning them away. You're saying you're welcome to hang around, but here's the solution to the problem. Go there first, then come back to us.
And none of us can solve everybody's problems.
Exactly.
So, you're not hurting yourself by suggesting a competitor if they do something better than you. You're not at all. You're building trust. That person might not buy from you at that moment, but they'll tell the next person that mentions to them that they're looking for this. That is, your type of client. It does go a long way. Trust is everything.
Right, let's do this I've been dying to do this on page SEO. Start from the title, from the URL, and then we'll go into the navigation. Then we're going to go into the title, subdescription, bullet points, everything. Let's go from there. Let's start with the URL. Let's talk URL structure. Yeah.
One thing that Shopify does and WordPress does the same thing is when you write a content or you make a product page, it takes your title and it makes your entire title the URL. That's the worst thing in the world when you have a 10 or 11 or 15 word URL, because that's what your title is. Go back in before you publish the page and make the URL just your keyword phrase. So 2 or 3 words like that. The FBA.
Hold on, Joe. You're right there, Miro. It looks like doing it through the keyhole. We're having a little travel around the house.
Running low on power here.
Oh, okay.
Find a new cable. Like, here we go.
Sorry, Joe. God.
That's right. That's fun. So it's important that you take your keyword phrase, and your keyword phrase is in your URL, and it's in your title. On Amazon, we all know you want your best keyword phrase as close to the beginning of the title as possible. Well, that's the same. That's standard SEO, and that's something that you should consider. Wherever you post the title of something, is you want your keyword phrase, what you want to get ranked for the most in that title. In content, you also want it in the first sentence, and you should bold it once, and you should have it in a subheading as well, and you should have synonyms and other words that are normally associated with your keyword phrase throughout your content. And on your product page, the same thing. That's what descriptions are for. So Google has evolved, and Amazon is going to evolve in this direction as well, to solve queries more than just focus on keywords. It used to be, if you focus on the keyword like crossbow, then you got to really hit home that one word: crossbow. Well,
which is density, basically, is textual density.
It's density, and in an extreme level, it's keyword stuffing.
Yes.
Google has grown to the point where now it's looking for words that it expects to see in context around the word crossbow. So it might be hunting, it might be woods, forest, friends, camping, all the different words that might go along with crossbow, as opposed to crossbow, a van that made by Plymouth that drives down the road. How does Google know when you search for crossbow that whether you want a van or a weapon? And it's all based on the question and the other words in the question. So you use that stuff in your content and in your description, your product description. It's really important to do the stuff in your product description. So if you do a search for crossbow or for your keyword phrase on Google, what comes up in the search results is a section called People Also Ask, and it's filled with questions. And there's drop downs. If you open and close them, you get more drop downs. That is your audience talking right to you, telling you what's most important to them. So what we do, and this works really, really well, is we use those questions as the format for our content and for our description. So we'll take the all-encompassing question that's in that list, and we'll make it the title of our article. Then we'll take other questions from that list that fall under that tree, and we'll make those the subheadings. So we are directly addressing what our potential audience is asking the most on Google. So that gives our audience what they want, and that gives Google what they want. And that also tells us the quality of content that we need to have and at what level to be better than them and get those positions away from them on Google, which is what we all want. So in your description on your product page, be it Amazon, Shopify, wherever, utilize some of those questions in your description, because Google indexes Amazon just as much as it indexes everywhere else. You can be on page 1 on Amazon for your product and be on page 10 on Amazon. Did I say Google? You can be on page 1 for Google with your product and be on page 10 on Amazon when you first launch. And you can leverage that Google positioning to build your ranking on Amazon. People don't think about that, but it's really
don't spoil the backlink things. That's a whole show in itself. We'll talk about backlinks and stuff and proper SEO and the dodgy shit that people go on Fiverr do and just blast with angel links. We'll get to that. But yeah, sorry, go on.
That's pretty quick, all in one sentence too. You did good with that.
Yeah, no. So I did want to break the flow, but what I'm saying is I want to save the show to focus on SEO.
So we use content a lot, and so I'll give you a tale of 2 Shopify clients. I have 2 different clients. They both started about the same time on selling and on the internet. They both started on Amazon, and they both started on Shopify a few months later. One decided to go all in with content, and one decided to do the typical e-commerce and PPC route.
Yeah.
So the one that decided to go all in with content, he took and he developed a community site. And it's on Shopify, but he built a community around the greater subject that his product applies to. For example, if you sell dog collars, create a community around dogs and dog care and dog training with content. So he took 50% of all of his profits from his sales. He was doing really well on Amazon. So he committed 50% of all of his profits from his sales to buying content. His company is made of 8 guys, and they're manufacturers. They're not content writers. So they built this community and purchased about 150,000 pieces of content in 12 months. Which is nuts. That's a lot. They also, through all of that content that they were building, they got doctors and up and coming influencers to want to be a part of it. And so they contributed another 100,000 pieces of content. So this guy's got 300,000 pieces of content that he's developed over 12 months. 80% of it isn't even posted yet. And content, the thing about content is you pay once. You pay for creation or placement or whatever, but then it just keeps giving you traffic. We all start websites and we think, wow, I'm going to put up this website and it's going to be busier than hell and I'm going to be famous. It doesn't work that way. People don't know you're there, and it takes work. So what you do is you research people in your niche, relevant sites that have traffic. That have a lot of traffic. And then so part of your content creation is setting aside some of your content for guest posting. Neil Patel, Brian Dean from Backlink.io, both of them became who they are from guest posting. Brian Dean got it by himself guest posting on other people's sites.
Well, Neil Patel done the 30,000 word long pieces. Do you remember he'd spend? I remember seeing the stories like he would spend 17 grand or so, literally thousands of pounds. Go to neilpatel.com. Go and look at the history of SEO. He makes these beautiful, elegant designs, doesn't it? They're like infographic, and some of them are like 15,000 words in text.
But when he first started that, he got people to his site by bringing other influencers to his site to get them a guest post. Then that got eyes on his content. But that's a great way to build traffic and to build your site. So content and SEO they go hand in hand. And don't leave out paid media. Don't leave out paid traffic. There's paid traffic and own traffic. Running content ads and running paid ads for content is generally about 90% cheaper than running paid ads for products. And it gets you more people. I have a lot of people on Pinterest, and I can't say often enough to people that want to get on Pinterest that you need content to send people to as well.
Let me just read out. Let's just read out what Henrietta said about you. By the way, Joe, a big thank you. I've hooked up my product catalog on Pinterest and I get thousands and thousands of views without any paid ads. I feel it's so much easier to get audiences on Pinterest than Instagram. FB organic is almost impossible. So,
wow, that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. There's a lot of people driving a lot of traffic off of Pinterest. There's a lot of people that don't understand Pinterest. You got to understand the people on Pinterest. Pinterest, it's a visual planning site. Planning means I'm not ready to buy today. So you have to have someplace to send them that they're going to find valuable. People shy away from Amazon links because they know what is at the end of that click. So just having a landing page so they don't see the Amazon URL, just sending them to a landing page is better than sending them straight to Amazon.
I've just pasted the Neil Patel link in there. Now, he's changed his site since I've been there recently. I forgot all about this. Another thing is that when you create like free tools, that's a great way to drive traffic. So on the Neil Patel site now, it says learn why your competitors rank so high and how you can outrank them. So he has a tool where you enter your domain and then obviously he'll post the results of that. That's very, very powerful. And didn't he also buy the rights to the long tail keyword tool?
Ubersuggest.io.
Ubersuggest.io. That's another. So he's leveraging, like, because of who he is, not only the content, but he's using tools that he builds free.
And during COVID, he made even more of that site accessible for free.
There you go. So there's certain things that you can do. I don't want to go too off topic, but what I was trying to say is that just creating those value adds, like tools and stuff. Yeah.
Just the FBA list that I have, that drives a significant amount of traffic to my website. And then so people that never knew who I was will go to my website just for that FBA list, and then they learn who I am.
Yeah.
It's all, it's all interconnected. Every little thing you do, it adds up. That's the whole thing. Everything you do, people, I hear this all the time. Oh, that doesn't, long tail, that's low search volume, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a crap. If something's going to give me 10 visits a month, but I know that the conversion rate on that 10 visits is good because they're further along the buying process, I'll take that all day, because if I have 1,000 of them, that's a lot. It all adds up. It all adds up.
Miro, do you want to interject something here? Because we haven't spoken to you for a while. We've got you to move your computer, didn't we? You've had a little through the keyhole wandering around. Do you want to jump in here? You got to turn your mic on.
Oh, well, I'm not an SEO expert. I'm really enjoying your.
I think the connection there's playing up, my friend. So back to you, Joe, until we get Miro back.
Okay, so back to these two clients that I was talking about. So one went all in with content. He was running paid ads. Now he only runs paid ads for 6 phrases. They're all branded phrases. Mm-hmm. The other client, he runs a lot of PPC, a ton of PPC. He spends some months between Amazon and his own website.
Let's hear from my. I'm in the supplement game.
He's gone.
We lost him.
Bye, Miro. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, so the PPC guy, some months he spends $50,000 on PPC. Yeah. The content site, he spent $50,000 to $60,000 over the course of a year just to produce all of his content. Spent that once. Boom, he's done. Yeah. So he's not doing the monthly thing. He spends $1,000 to $2,000 a month on his 6 branded phrases, and that's it. His site, for example, about 479,000 unique visits in November. That's nuts. That's up 50,000 from September alone. That's insane traffic when you think about it, as opposed to the other client, the PPC guy, who between his PPC and his EBC, he got 9,000 visits last month. And the content guy got, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at this, 175,000 visits last month. So 175,000 visits with content to 10,000 visits with content and PPC, or no content and PPC. That's a crazy difference. Crazy difference. The content site, they were suspended on Amazon in October and haven't gone back.
Yeah.
But the amount of content that they have has enabled them to shift their Amazon business over to their website. And he's expanding into Europe right now. And he's adamant he's not using Amazon because he's in arbitration with Amazon over stuff that Amazon did. So he's adamant he's not using Amazon in Europe. So, we looked at each country, and, the only marketplace that is in each country in Europe is eBay. Yeah. Otherwise, he'd have a different marketplace in each country, which is a pain in the ass, trying to make this easy. So we went with eBay, and we've been pounding social media in Europe with his content. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, we translated his website into 9 languages, and provided he gets his final cert for his product in Europe, we'll launch the website next week.
Yep.
And I mean, just the content alone is getting a ton of traffic on social media. He's got social media down to science in Europe now. He's got that audience. So we're going to switch it over to his website and do his website sales. And he's going to do really well. And it's because content is such a huge funnel and gets so many people into it. If you looked at his site, it doesn't look like an e-commerce site. It looks like a community. But the only product that he has on his site through ads is his own product. He's got a review area where he'll review other people's products and put a link, but he does not advertise other people's products throughout his site. He could easily offer anything on his site with 479,000 visitors. It's a numbers game. So he could easily offer anything on his site within reason, that's relevant and he's going to get sales for it. And that's a good place to be.
Yeah. Makes sense. Just a couple of more things. Tiff says, I love you guys. You mentioned honesty. We need more of that. Then we've got Tony says, what's the best way? Miro, you could answer this one. What's the best way to find vendors you can drop ship from my Shopify website? I've never done this before.
I have no idea. There's a there's a great plugin called Oberlo, which plugs into Shopify, which provides a lot of built-in like AliExpress type vendors in there. I just want to jump back onto the honesty question.
Yes.
And Joe's covering this SEO stuff better than I could. By the way, my computer died and I have a second computer. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but you can never have too many computers. Okay.
Yeah.
So back to the honesty thing is, we used to get people send a complaint about a product because I'm in the supplement business. And I used to get all booty hurt and be like, yeah, you know what you're talking about. My product's awesome. You suck, right? I think I step back. I'm thinking, you know what? Let's go back to our fundamental thing. We're trying to solve people's problems, right? Yeah. So we expand our product line. And for the same issue, we'll have like something 3 or 4 different products. So now our policy is someone says, hey, you know what? Your product didn't work for me. It sucks. You know what, sir? Here's a full refund for you. And we're going to send you our other product for the same issue. You can try that for free. So instead of saying, hey, hey, this customer sucks, screw him, we're like, we're going to try to solve his problem, right? And even if our product doesn't work for him, they come back and they'll leave a review saying, you know what, these guys really care about us, right? And even though it's more expensive this way, we're finding that if we can find the right product for somebody, we're able to build these really deep lifetime connections to people. People are loyal and they're looking for that. Like if someone asks us for a refund on Amazon, we don't make them send product back. We don't want it back anyway, right?
You just assume he's the competitor, right?
Well, not just that, but we don't look, we're really
that old chestnut, yeah.
No, but it's a lot of goodwill. Like we had someone a while ago, they found a hair stuck to their label, right? And they
it was yours, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Off the top of your head, yeah.
So I sent the lady a picture of myself saying, it wasn't mine, right?
Yeah.
And we basically, we apologize, we give them a full refund, we send new products, and we try to be gracious and generous with there's always someone that's going to buy $500 for the crap and want a refund, and you got to eat it. But being honest with people and being really and trust isn't just your website, it's how you treat every single customer. Because people will, when you exceed their expectations, we had someone post on Facebook, and we do nothing on Facebook, is just crap for us, right? Our website suddenly had like 15,000 connections from Facebook last month. I'm like, what the hell is this from? And it was a customer that we had that didn't like our product, and we sent a note saying, hey, we're sorry you didn't like it. Here's a full refund. And even after we say, here's a refund, we say, thank you for trying us, right? We appreciate you. And it sounds really corny, dorky, but you know what? It is something. Thank you for trusting us. We appreciate that, and we respect that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I want to address Tony's question there, because it's a great question. So lots of people go the Alibaba route, and some of the foreign drop shipping product stuff. I find people don't like to wait that long, depending on the shipping time, although it doesn't always work that way. But here's a great thing to think about right now, today, in what we got going on around us. There's brick and mortar shops everywhere around every single one of us that are closed, that have products sitting on shelves. The most expensive thing for any seller, brick and mortar or online, is the product that's not selling on the shelf. So what I would do if I was looking for dropship, let's build relationships. Look for mom and pop shops, brick and mortar, that are in your area or in your state or whatever. Call them up and say, hey, I'm an internet marketer. I can help you out. Let's work together. If you can give me wholesale pricing, I'll give you 30% of the profits, and have you drop ship the product, and let's grow this. I can get some sales. If you're going to do that on Amazon, make sure it's not in the category you're in, so you can open up a second account, so you're not risking your site. But there's people, by asking for wholesale pricing, but then saying you're going to give them 30% of the profits, you're getting them to buy in, and you're giving them an ownership feeling of of being involved, and that works really well. It's a great way to build relationships. I started in e-commerce drop shipping here, and all my products came locally, and I did $1 million in sales in drop shipping in 18 months. Local products, local handmade products. None of it was coming out of China. The furthest it was coming was New Mexico.
Let me jump in here for a second, Joe.
Yeah.
And it's funny because last week I was at this, they said this farmer's market thing, right? And it's kind of like now it's all, everybody standing 6 feet away from each other. And there was a family there trying to sell like dog treats. And these things were really well packaged and they had a good story. And I was thinking, you're talking about this, that's a perfect drop shipping product.
Right.
You got a product with a great story, mom and pop operation. They have no sophistication, online marketing. I was talking a little bit about, going online. And I started talking about Amazon and doing all this stuff. And they were like,
your eyes get big.
and they would jump on that kind of deal all day long because they're just trying to ramp up their business. And someone like that would be an ideal person. I completely agree with you. You've got a consumable product. You have a good story. The packaging is beautiful. So, yeah, absolutely. Look local.
Yeah, those people are everywhere. Underrepresented products are everywhere. I think Google did a study and they said 65% of all products worldwide are underrepresented on the internet. It doesn't seem that way when you look at Amazon, but look at Society6 and Zazzle. They have products that are not on Amazon. Fancy.com has products that you don't find on Amazon. And it seems like everything's on Amazon, but it's not.
Can I just go back to something else? Talking about honesty. The other thing is and I think companies fail to realize is we're constantly looking to way to automate and optimize the reduced time. You can't scale kindness, and bad news travels faster than good news, and this is why it takes years to build a reputation. And so there's always going to be someone looking, and like what Miro said, being open and honest makes a massive difference. Because, like I said, negativity flies along, doesn't it? But the good news doesn't. So people need to realize is that it's not something that you invest in to automate at some point. That's the life cycle of your business. That is part of your reputation process.
I have a saying that I've used, I have background in business consulting and operational consulting, right? And the first thing I say to people is, you know what? Every business is a people business.
Yep.
If you're online, if you're in person, your tone, when you go to a store, there's a great thing is now they're pushing these automated cashiers, right?
Yeah.
And in Florida, we have this chain of grocery stores called Publix. And they really train the hell out of their staff, and they're so sweet and they're so personable. And I'm thinking, here's Walmart, and everybody else is trying to get away from these cashiers. And this one store that does a good job, their cashiers, they look you in the eye, they say thank you. I'm thinking, what a lost opportunity for all these other retailers to build that customer relationship. And instead, people say, I would rather go to the robot than talk to a Walmart clerk. I'm like, wow, that's really telling on where that business is. But every business you have, give them a heartfelt thank you. One of the things that we do is, have you guys heard of Boom Boom? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, Boom Boom is a video platform where you can create a small video and you send it with an email. I have this really cute little 20-year-old college student, and when someone buys from us, she'll send a little note and picture, not me, but some actual cute girl saying, hey, thank you very much for buying from our product.
That's where the hair came from.
Huh?
That's where the hair came from.
Exactly. And what happens is we send these videos out, and it goes with an email, and it's a personalized thank you. And she holds up a sign saying, hi, John, right? And she has this little note, and I'll get these 3 and 4 paragraph emails back. No one has ever thanked me for buying from their site. I really appreciate you. These little things, it cost, I'm paying the girl $15 an hour. She can knock out dozens of them in an hour. And it's such a authentic touch point, and the cost is peanuts.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
How many people, everybody sends inserts with their products on Amazon. How many people use a handwriting font and on one side to say, thank you for your business? A personal thank you goes a really long way. And when you have Prime members that are conditioned to buy, 40 products a month or whatever the statistic is, how do you stand out among them to get a good review? What do you do to stand out? You have to do things that everybody else is not doing. And that's, personalized service, personal thank yous, a handwritten thank you, even if it's a handwriting font, is more than anybody else is really doing. Asking for the review is so common that people ignore it.
Yeah, everyone's trying to skip to the end point. They're forgetting the lead up to that. The wine. Call it whining and dining if you like. He's just coming into that play, but obviously it shouldn't be like seated. It should be from the heart and do it right. So we're going to.
Are you getting an echo from me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes, I'm hearing it.
Let's wrap here. Any final thoughts you want to leave the audience with?
I think something that we've learned the hard way is when your customer has a problem, that's your best opportunity. If you have someone that got the wrong product or got a defective product, you make it right. Like, you know what? You got the wrong stuff. We're going to 2-day FedEx you a replacement. You exceed that because they're looking for a fight, right? They're waiting for this. You have to give us a 30-digit code and you have to send the crap back.
Kill them with kindness.
A fight. They're defensive. And if you blow them away by being kind to them, even when they're rejecting you and your product and they're saying, your product sucks, you suck, you're sending on snake oil. And if you're kind to them, it completely transforms the experience. I think that's where the biggest opportunity is.
You unarm them by doing that.
Yes.
You're disarming. I had I'll give you 2 examples, two processes of refund. For Seller Sessions Live, because we moved the date from the 9th of May to the 25th, we've got a workshop with Evelyn Demirov. Them tickets are £1,500, mastermind tickets. But the email that I got was very narky, like kind of rude. I want to know about your refund process. And I'm like, yeah, easy. They'll just give you a refund. And I was like, oh. I won't divulge more than that, but what I read into it. This is me. I looked at it and I thought that person is obviously having it hard with the business with COVID-19, right? And basically that £1,500 now will go a long, long way. But they were very defensive. I could have just gone, well, hold on, you've been fucking rude here and ignore it or whatever, but that's not in my nature. I actually gone, okay, I've read the text. You're having financial difficulty. Let's take and not even bring up like the rudeness in the message, but saying, yeah, no worry, we sort out your refund and everything else. And then the tone of the email changes. Then yesterday I had another one with a customer that private messaged me through the website off of Amazon for a product that we sell. He said it leaked. So I said, no worries, I'll do a removal order and I'll send you a stack of our products, send them over to you. He's like, no, I weren't asking for that. I said, I know you weren't asking for that. I just want to send it to you, but we've got something in development soon. He said, well, don't send me any of that. Send me your new product you're developing because I love buying your products anyway. You give value for money and stuff. And I don't know this person. This is an Amazon seller, an Amazon customer. But the way I see it,
customer for life.
It's a customer for life. And it's very, very simple. I think what it is, we need as human beings to get a better read on people. Read between the lines. When someone kind of attacks you like that. I'll give you another example. When I was in Prague, just before this whole lockdown thing, right? Everything was shutting down. Hotel we were staying in was shutting down. The McDonald's, everything in the air, all closing. I was on like one of the last flights out back to Stansted in the UK. This is the Friday, and we've gone up. We and a friend walked down to go and get a coffee from Costa, and knocked on the window because I wasn't sure. And she came up and she was all sheepish. And I think what she expected was me to have a go at her because of my fix of caffeine, and she couldn't provide it for me. Instead, I asked her how was she. And that really took her aback. I said, no, how are you? I can see that you're looking stressed out. Are you okay? And she said, well, I'm a bit nervous about it. I said, well, look, have a good day. Thanks for letting us know anyway. And left it there. But I think with customers and the public and stuff, there's this dynamic where they can feel like they're, going back to Walmart staff, they're probably sick of being abused by customers. So their defenses are up. But there's some shining beacons out there who see through it and is kind to the next customer, and just rides the wave. So I think it's very important. Try and understand people a little bit better and look from their point of view, and it will take you a long, long way.
Well, it's funny. I travel quite a bit, and I go to Croatia a lot. I'm actually from Croatia, right? Mm-hmm. And there's this little small town that I have some family and I visit. And there's a little hotel. It's like a big bed and breakfast. And basically what their premise is they're really nice there, right? So my first trip down there, we'd been traveling for a week, and we stayed at this hotel. It was kind of like our home base, my brothers and I. And we had like 2 garbage bags of stinky laundry. I'm like, hey, where's the local laundromat? There really isn't one in this small town, but give us your stuff, and we'll wash it for you. And it sounds like a stupid thing, but since that, I will go to that place every time. Like if I'm going anywhere within 500 miles of that place, I will stay in that little hotel and give them the business.
That goes back to saying it's not scalable.
Yeah.
That's the problem what people have, is that they skip that when they realize it's not scalable. It's just something you have to do over the years.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we put the worlds to rights. This is part 4. We're going to do a part 5 next week. Maybe we'll start doing backlinks and talk about that next week. Any last words before we go? We come up to the hour mark now. Joe?
Miro?
I'm out of stuff to say, which never happens.
Okay.
I agree about the whole kindness thing and going out of your way. Everybody likes to go someplace where they're recognized or where they feel valuable, especially right now during COVID. I mean, I go out and I see all these people with their masks on, and I can't hear a damn thing they're saying. And everybody's afraid of each other. They're afraid to touch your money. And it's weird. But this is the new reality.
I'll touch your money, Joe.
that we have to face. I went to Dutch Brothers the other day, and I sat in the in line in the drive-thru, and I got up there and I pull out my money to pay, and the girl's like, "Oh no, it's plastic only." And I'm like, shit, there's 2 cars in front of me and there's no way to get out of this line. Okay, whatever. And she's like, oh, no, don't worry about it. Your coffee's coming. Don't worry about the paying us. And I was just like, wow, cool. That's freaking great. That's customer service. How much does that coffee cost them? Really, how much does that coffee cost them? I'm already a regular there, but that's besides the fact. If I wasn't, that would make me want to go back to begin with. People love that stuff. They eat that stuff up. And when you use it, if you know their name and you're using their name, they connect with that. They really connect with that. I mean, I came into e-commerce with the whole content process already from fine dining and from nice hotels. We used to have a Rolodex behind the bar of all of our regular clients and what they drank, so that the server could walk up to the table as they first approached it with their first round of drinks, as they said hello. These are people spending $400 for a meal. They eat that stuff up. People love that sort of stuff. When you recognize and can say, hey, welcome back. Treat your business is your family. Your buyers that come to your website. Treat them like family. Welcome them. Thank them. And ask how you can help them, especially in this day and age. Like you mentioned, it was something as easy as just asking the girl, how are you?
Yeah. That shocked her. That was shocked, because I think she's used to being attacked.
Especially going into this, people don't know how, young people don't know how people are going to react to them saying, I know we're open 365 days a year, but now we're closed. It's scary. It's scary to them.
Yeah. Indeed. Last comments here. Brownwind says, Danny, your sales session interviews are a role of honesty. You add value, and I appreciate how you help new FBA sellers like me to learn what to do from the experts. I don't do that. I ask the questions. The experts give you the information. But thank you for the sentiment and kindness. Tim says 100% on the kindness. Even if they're still angry, you've done something kind and you win. Very, very true. Seville says, great session once again. Thanks, guys. Another great session from Abu. And Jason says, great call, guys. Love the info. Thanks for sharing. Okay, thanks, guys, for your consistent support. I don't know how long lockdown's going to go for, but we turn up every day. So that's all we can do. So I want to love and leave you back tomorrow, UK, 4 o'clock UK time. Let me give you a quick rundown on what we've got coming up for our show. So tomorrow is Friday. So we've got allsumers.com versus seller sessions with Steve Simonson with me. Then on Saturday, we've got a woman of Amazon, an in-depth with Michelle Venton. And then Sunday's Mindset Sunday with Leanne Hirschkorn. We're going to talk law of attraction and pay it forward. So this kind of feeds into the stuff we're talking about, kindness. There's a lot more stuff that I want to talk about on that as well. If you haven't done so already, go go to brandedbywomen.com and get your free ticket for the summit, which is coming up in a few weeks. So, guys, thank you again. Let's do this again next Thursday for part 5. And thank you to the audience for listening. Much love. Stay home. Stay safe. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.